How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Nerdy Basement Podcast. We are your hosts. I am the OG Osmosis, or just simply Ozzy, and joining me as always.
What's going on, everybody? It's Eddie. How's it going?
And we are back. We took a little break, sort of, kind of, sort
Bit.
of, kind of, just a little bit, just a little break. But we're back. Listen, this is part one of a two-part episode. Technically, it will be two separate episodes, but there was just so much to cover in just this month of October. These past 2 weeks have been insane in terms of news, the shows that have been dropping, the shows that have been concluding. We dropped all our New York Comic Con coverage. We're prepping for Anime NYC coverage, as I mentioned in the anime pod. There's a ton of coverage coming for the remainder of the year. So we just like, listen, bro, we got to separate these pods because we're not going to give you guys 3-4 hour podcasts like we used to, because we just not on that time anymore. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have that time.
We actually like falling asleep at a decent time, so it's just,
I will say,
just
speak for yourself.
Dude, you need to learn. You just need to learn how to like get a regular sleep schedule.
I do. I really do. The thing is like, I can go to sleep at a decent time because listen, bro, I'm falling asleep at the chair at work. Yeah. So I know if I come home after a long day of work, by 8 o'clock, if I hit the bed, I'm out like a light. I know that for a fact. But once the kiddo goes to sleep, I'm like, okay, now I got an hour to myself to kind of tidy the house, take a shower and all that. Maybe 2 to 3 hours to watch some TV while I'm working on the Nerdy Basement. So I'm just like,
honestly, your time frames doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up at all. You're like, the kid goes to sleep at 9 and you're like, okay, so I'm going to clean, I'm going to do all this, maybe a couple hours. So I'm like, that means you're going to sleep at 2-3 a.m. to wake up again at like 7. Like you're running on 5 hours sleep max
every day.
God.
Every day. Put it into work so we can make it.
There you go, guys. Hey, for $1 a day, remember,
for people, $1 a day,
please. Listen, $1 a day.
Yo, you guys can subscribe to us on Instagram now.
Please.
We got Instagram subscriptions, $5 a month. You get an exclusive little batch. Yeah,
is that
people
a thing?
People can subscribe to us on Instagram now.
That's dope.
Pay $5 a month. They get a nice little badge. They get a subscriber exclusive chat that they can join with us and talk to us. Exclusive subscribers only, not a public DM. And there's content that we can also drop on it that is exclusive to our Instagram subscribers. And the caveat to all of this, you don't even have to leave the app. It is all on Instagram in one place. You don't even have to leave the app. We can do special lives. We can do a whole bunch of stuff with Instagram subscriptions. So listen, there's 43,000 of y'all on Instagram. That's not bad. $5 a month, even if it's just 1,000 of y'all, even if it's just 1,000 of you guys.
All right, we can go.
We can go do this every single day. But anyway, this is episode 131. I would say but the next episode will be 132. Exactly. Either way, we're gonna just be talking news this episode. There's a lot to review, so we'll focus that on the next episode. But listen, DC has been having a massive couple of weeks. So has Marvel in terms of rumors and delays, speculations, and stuff like that. Obviously, She-Hulk just ended this past week and all that. But we're gonna kick things off with one of the biggest rumors that's been going around ever since the whole Harrison Ford thing, which was Borat himself, Sacha Baron Cohen, is rumored to be playing Mephisto in Ironheart. And this is not just coming from fans, fan insiders and stuff like that. This is not just Twitter news. Like now it's making the rounds in Hollywood trades. You know what I'm saying? So now, which is why it's adding a little more validity to the rumor, because Variety is not reporting on it and stuff like that.
So you know what? Honestly, I think he would make a great looking Mephisto. I think he has that long face.
I think that's like near perfect casting.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think there's no wrong he can do. Now, the thing is, yes, like, is Mephisto usually very playful, malevolent type of like character? Yes, he is. So he can always, like, Borat can definitely play that part, like no problem. Now, for it, I just feel like it's a lot of freaking like just hype for nothing, because they've had so many times to show us Mephisto, and to wait this long and then let it just leak so easily. That's where I call suspect.
Yeah.
You
I get
know?
it. I get what you mean. I can see where you're coming from, but like I said, the only reason I'm even harping on it and kind of keeping an eye on it
Mhm.
is because now the trades are reporting on it. The Hollywood trades. It's not like I said. It's not like fan sites like
Yeah,
ours.
yeah.
Regular social, Twitter accounts or big Instagram accounts or the big YouTubers.
Mhm.
Now, when rumors like this start hitting, outlets or trades like Variety, Deadline, the Hollywood Reporter, the Wrap, then you're like, okay, maybe
Mhm.
something's going on here.
No,
But
when the news starts hitting the nerdy basement, then you know it's official.
yes, honestly, a lot of people might have that mentality, might not even say it to us, but we've had a few people openly come to like, yo, listen, I know stuff gets reported all the time, but if you guys don't report it, I don't even believe it until, because if you guys report it, then you guys
Appreciate that.
or believe in the news and you guys are reporting something that's factual. And I mean, listen, I appreciate that. That's
Mhm.
kind of words because obviously that's the reputation that we have and we
Yeah.
uphold that.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
that happened
mhm.
with the Harrison Ford thing. And like at first, when that rumor came out, I didn't post anything at first because
Yeah.
I'm just like, and remember, we talked about it on the podcast a couple
Yeah, we did.
episodes
We talked
back.
about it. Yeah, we talked about it, but it wasn't like we didn't
It
say,
was
"Hey, this
there
is
was
happening."
nothing. Yeah, there was nothing official. There was nothing official at that time. And then once again, this was another of those rumors that started on social media, and
Mhm,
then it worked their way up until it got to the Hollywood trades and whatnot and
mhm.
whatever. And once it started getting up up the ladder, that's when I was like, okay, maybe we can drop a little post on Instagram and kind of let people know, okay, this is what's going on with Harrison Ford in the MCU. Until we got official confirmation from Deadline that yeah, Harrison Ford is definitely going to be playing Thunderbolt Ross in the
Yeah.
MCU, and he's definitely confirmed to literally star opposite
Mm.
Anthony Mackie in Captain America 4, and he's also going to be
Yeah.
appearing in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
I'm not really a fan of the casting personally. I'm not.
yeah, I'm not either, to be
I'm
completely
not,
honest. And this is
you
no
know.
slight against Harrison Ford,
No, never,
obviously.
never. No, he's Indiana
But
Jones. He's freaking Han Solo. Like there's
exactly.
nothing wrong with him. Is just I think he's wrong for this role. Like
Not
I
it's
just think
okay.
he's wrong for this role.
Listen, not
I
all
have no
the
reason.
A-list actors are good
Yeah.
for every single role. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. See, and it's also like I think about it. Think about it. We're expected to get Red Hulk, all right, with Thunderbolt
Right.
Ross, and I just can't see Harrison Ford Hawkified. I can't take his face seriously on a
Unless
Red
they make him
Hulk.
like a huge goof, which I don't think they're gonna do. Which then again, they might just make him a big goof.
Hopefully not.
I
But
don't know, man. I don't know. I'm really I need to see him in action. I
mhm.
need to see a picture, an official still as him looking like Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to see what their plans are. I don't know if the death of William Hurt, change anything story wise. I'm not too
Mhm.
sure, but listen, like you just mentioned, we were leading up to getting Red Hulk, is leading into the Thunderbolts. So Thunderbolt Ross was gonna have. We knew bringing him back in Civil War was gonna have some big ramifications in the MCU going
Yeah.
forward, and we were starting to see
As
that
well as Black
unravel.
Widow. Think about it, Black
Exactly.
Widow being in there and everything, and then she mentions like he was going through surgeries and all that. So the Hulk formula would have been like the reason why he's like the heart issues would have been the reason why he would have done the thing to become a Red Hulk.
Exactly.
So it's like it was all set
Exactly.
up. It was all beautiful setup. So
Yeah, exactly. So
uh,
we just have to wait and see how that kind of pays off and see
mhm,
how Harrison Ford kind of does with this role, because Thunderbolt Ross is very stern, he's very serious, he's
mhm,
very little play, a man of few words unless you kind of antagonize him a little bit. So I mean,
mhm.
yeah, like you're saying, I can't really picture Harrison Ford like hulking
Yeah.
out. To be
I don't even
completely
I can't even see
honest.
him with a mustache, honestly. Like he's supposed to have a nice fucking stash, and I can't see Harrison Ford that way. I it just doesn't ring to me. But I do want to see him yell, "Get off my plane!" So that's a deep cut right there. Kick somebody off a plane, yell, "Get off my plane!" and shit like that, like when he was the
Listen,
president. So that's a deep cut,
those
guys.
who know, they know. Those who know, they know. But
Oh,
yeah, moving on from that, we got a rumor about Spider-Man 4, which is reportedly going to be hitting theaters on July 12th, 2024. This is a
interesting.
date that Marvel and Sony have both kind of been, aiming for. There's no real confirmation as to when Spider-Man 4 starts filming, what the story is going to be, what contract extension Tom Holland has even signed. Because theoretically, this would be his final quote unquote Spider-Man movie. Then he's able to, not that he hasn't been able to do anything he wants anyway.
Yeah.
But theoretically, within the Sony Marvel umbrella, this would be his final contractual obligation. So what they decide to do after that, I'm thinking a whole new trilogy after this, given the way No Way Home ended.
Yeah, like what? So this is also like, so they said this one, Spider-Man 4, is for Tom Holland. This is not like a potential Tobey Maguire thing or Andrew Garfield thing.
It will be an MCU Spider-Man movie.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I would think at least like a trilogy, or him getting the mantle pass to bring in like a different Spider person, because like I don't know if they're going to still try to keep anything going, because what isn't like the Madam Web, she's still getting something from Sony side or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we got some recent set photos, which,
you know
I mean, for the most part, Julia Carpenter looks pretty cool. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, well, it's a cool costume. Like if you look, it was the recent. She's there. I think they're exactly the same costume. Yeah, from like, well, it's also this Madam Web isn't the original Madam Web that was blind. With the blindfold on and everything like that.
Based on early reports, she is supposed to be in the movie, the older Madam Web. To some degree.
Okay, so she's dying and then it gets passed on really likely. Fast. Fucked up. Kill the old, bring the new. That's Disney's way of doing things, apparently. well, Sony's. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry.
But yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, because Sony is building, continuously expanding and building their Spider-Man universe over there. So listen, I'm excited to kind of see what I'm excited to see about Madam Web. Just to go on a tangent real quick, based on the set photos, they're introducing Araña for the first time in live action.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if any of those Spider women are gonna, suit up. I'm kind of hoping they do. So I would like to see what Sony kind of brings to the table with the female, Spider people.
Yeah. It did look like as well that they were bringing Kane because I think he was the one that we saw in those set photos.
It looked like Kane. Actually, there was a report of who that was, and I wrote it down somewhere. What? I got rid of it, and I do not remember what it is. So I will have to tell you. I will have to look for it off once we're done, and then let you know.
Fair enough.
It's a version of Spider-Man, but it's not Peter Parker, obviously.
Got it.
Obviously, that we know, because that kind of conflicts with the MCU and all that.
Honestly, anyway. They could either just show someone full, like, full costume and say such and such as this person, and not even show their face, or they can just show their face and then put them in the costume saying that they're somebody else.
All I'm personally saying is, if Sony was smart, you could have just had a Spider-Man 2099 universe, and just you could have had your cake and you could have ate it too. That's all I'm saying,
dude. All I know, I can be in the mask, and
anybody
would all
work. Anybody could be in this.
That's how superheroes work, guys. That's how superheroes work.
But yeah, moving on from that, Marvel. This news is a little bit old, but just for those who have missed it, Marvel has pushed back the release date of 4 different movies. Obviously, this huge shift in release dates comes due to Marvel halting production on Blade due to the director exiting the film. Obviously, creative differences. Yeah, he was not necessarily, he was, for lack of a better word, he was fired. Essentially, the script was essentially trash. He was clashing with Mahershala Ali in terms of creative differences. And it was just a 90-page script, which those who go to film school, that's a very short movie in terms of MCU standards. And there was only like 2 fight scenes, and the movie was just all around lackluster.
That's sad.
Yeah,
sounds like a Sony move.
It does sound like a Sony move, exactly, and I can understand why Mahershala Ali was upset.
Well, he didn't sign up for that. He signed up for a great story to portray one of the biggest characters in MCU history. You know what I mean? Like Blade has been a part. Like, think about it. Wesley Snipes started freaking the MCU practically. You know what I mean? So it's like no one gives him credit for that. Like, no one gives anybody credit, because it was definitely a different adaptation. But
listen, Blade killed, so the MCU can shine, bro. But yeah, I mean, speaking of Wesley Snipes, there were a lot of people suggesting, listen, Why not bring in the man who started it all to direct the movie at this point?
He's directs now.
What the hell? I don't know, but listen, he
Oh
can make his
God.
directorial debut. I mean, Marvel has hired unknown indie filmmakers to make
Hey,
blockbusters for them. So,
fair enough. Yeah, I don't see
so
why not.
I don't see why not. But anyway, moving on to the release dates. So yeah, Avengers: Secret Wars got delayed. It is now released in May 1st, 2026. Deadpool 3 also got delayed. That's moving back a month. It's not that much, literally a month.
Yeah. Well, if we listen
No,
to
a
what,
couple of months. A
yeah,
couple of
but if we
months.
listen to what they said during those promos, it's because it took them forever to figure out if they can get Hugh Jackman into the movie, and
Right.
that's why
Which is
everything was delayed.
exactly which is something that just came out today earlier today before we were recording and all that. Hugh Jackman did mention that Ryan Reynolds did pitch Hugh Jackman's return as soon as he like walked into Marvel Studios, like, yo, bring back Hugh Jackman, we got to
That's
do this.
hilarious.
So to
There it
see it
is.
all in fruition is dope. But yeah, Deadpool 3 is releasing November 8th,
Mhm.
2024. Fantastic Four got pushed back to February 4th, 2025.
Shame.
Obviously, Valentine's Day. And then we got Blade, which we were just talking about, releasing on September 6th, 2024,
Mhm.
taking up the spot that was previously held by Deadpool 3.
Nice.
So,
I
just a
feel
little
like they should have played with like a 4-4-4 type of thing. They should have did like,
for Fantastic Four, right? I
yeah,
feel
for
like they could
fantasy.
have, I feel like
You
that's what
know,
they should have went for.
well, it
Release
is the
it
month
April
of
4th.
fourth. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
fourth is the February, but then 14, okay,
No, the
Valentine's
fourth.
Day,
No,
whatever.
February will be the second month of the
Oh
year.
my God, why am I thinking the fourth? You're right, April.
April,
You're right.
April.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Release it April
Oh
4th,
God.
2024. You know what I
I'm like,
mean? And it
but
has to
2024 should have been 24, exactly. It should have been that.
and it should have dropped at like 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. or
Imagine
4
that would have been
p.m.
fun.
That Thursday night, 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
that Thursday night. That would have been real
Yeah.
nice. Yo, Marvel marketing
Mm-hmm.
here, free marketing. I'm pretty sure y'all thought about it, but
Exactly.
y'all ain't pulled the trigger. We pulling
Mm-hmm.
the trigger for you. But anyway,
Yep.
hire us. Invite us to a red carpet, please. So moving
Oh
on
my
from
God.
that, Yahya Abdul Mateen is rumored, and this I'm gonna say before we even finish this sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Take this with the biggest grain of salt, because this is like so out of left field, but it's like all over the place. And granted, I get it. Yahya Abdul Mateen is a fan favorite. People love him as an actor. And, he's done
Mm-hmm.
some great movies and stuff like that. He was dope as Black Manta.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, he's rumored to be in talks to portray Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, in the Wonder Man series for Disney Plus. Listen, I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna come into fruition given how much of a prominent role he has over at DC, and then
Mm-hmm.
God knows what other projects he has in line. You know what I'm saying? So,
True. Yeah.
and then how would that play into the whole Wanda thing? They were a thing in the comics at one point. He does have deep connections to Vision.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of teased it a little bit for WandaVision, but they never fully introduced them. So,
Yeah, I think, yeah, besides the name drop, right? That was the only thing that they actually mentioned about Wonder Man or anything
mhm.
as such. Because so then I
And then the concept art, whenever they show like the
yes.
making of, they had the
Yeah.
concept art, like official concept art. Oh, we were thinking about introducing them here in
Mm.
WandaVision, but we decided, to kind of
Yeah.
pull
See,
back on
with
that.
that, I feel like they're just gonna they won't adapt any of that. Maybe a quick little, but because think about it, technically Wanda's dead. So unless they make this into a multiversal type of situation that they actually give us
Yeah.
that fan service, I think Wonder Man will just be there. Like he'll just show
Right,
up to the
right.
MCU.
Same.
So he'll be
Hmm.
another new powerhouse or whatever, and then they'll just figure out where to place him, or maybe he might be a throwaway like character, because who
Right.
knows? Because honestly, I've been waiting for Squirrel Girl, you know what I mean? But it's
Bro,
like
I've been waiting for Squirrel
it's
Girl since
nothing.
they announced New Warriors, and we never got to see
Mm-hmm.
the light of day of that,
Nada. Yep.
which
And then there's like
disappointing.
two perfect castings. I remember it was the girl, the AT&T girl.
Right. As
I've been
Squirrel
wanting
Girl,
her,
no
yeah,
less.
as Squirrel Girl, and she's voiced, I think, Squirrel Girl in one of
And
the
she
podcasts.
does.
Yeah, she
She
voices
does.
them. And who was the second one that I was like, would have been a perfect Squirrel Girl? Oh, fuck. We
Is she on
probably
the show?
talked about it a while back. I can't
I
remember
think
which
I
show.
think I think yeah, this would be someone who listens, who's dedicated listener to the Nerdy Basement. This was probably we talked about it back in like 2018, probably.
Oof. Oh my God. Yes, you're right. Like,
This was
true
years
that,
ago, and that's how much
dude.
content we cover here to be like, yo, I'm pretty sure we talked about that like
Damn,
years
see,
ago.
this is when we need that guy in the chair to like be like, oh, let me just go through the files right now. Like the scoreboard. Oh, there it
Exactly.
is.
Oh, see, this is why keeping the notes like I used to before, like
Uh-huh.
have a folder with just the notes for every episode.
Yep.
But anyway, but yeah, I
Yep.
mean, we'll see what
Word.
happens with Wonder Man. I mean, it is if he gets cast, and listen, I'm fine with it. I have no issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen is a great actor. I have no issue with that. Whatever they
Yeah.
do with Wonder Man, I'm here. Like you said, I don't think we're gonna get any of the comic book, storylines because I feel like that train, the moment that they had the chance they had, kind of came and went,
Mm-hmm.
and at this point. But then again, there's the MCU. They'll find a way to combine it anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's speaking of special presentations. Oh, I know we were talking about Werewolf by Night off
Mm-hmm.
air. There is a rumor that Silver Surfer might be getting a special presentation
Hmm.
as well to be introduced into the MCU and all that good stuff.
Interesting.
Obviously, that introducing someone like Silver Surfer, and you're really kind of breaking open the cosmic side of the MCU because the
Yeah.
Marvel hasn't really touch that aspect. I know a couple weeks ago as well, beginning of October, late September, they were talking about doing a special presentation for Nova as well, as opposed to a full blown series, as
Mm-hmm.
they were
Mm-hmm.
thinking about before when they first announced it. Um, I can see that happening. I feel like they kind of use Werewolf by Night a little bit to kind of test the waters, to kind
Yeah.
of see how people would, kind of gauge the fans and how they will take in.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the special presentations are like a one shot comic. You drop a one shot. Here's a short story. You might see this character pop up somewhere else, but here's a self contained story. No real ties to the grander scheme of things, or the overarching MCU. And given the great reception that Werewolf by Night received, with
Mm-hmm.
almost
Mm-hmm.
like I think it had like 90% audience score, like on Rotten Tomatoes or something like that,
That's nice.
or at least
That's
a high
nice.
80s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I think going that route with Silver Surfer or Sam Alexander or Richard Rider for Nova, I think that would be something. At least I'm open to seeing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I still want a Nova
Honestly,
movie, but
well, yeah, I think if anything, they can because here's the thing, like we don't know what happened. We know the Nova Corps got wiped out, so they
right.
would need to at least show how he gets his powers, how that helmet is imbued by like any cosmic energy or whatever like that. So that would be a perfect one just to give us that 1 hour like shot of everything, and
Mm-hmm.
then throw him into a Miss Marvel movie or something like that. Like it's just
Exactly.
like and then build it up that way because it's like these guys, they're cosmic, like these are the cosmic characters of MCU. They're always at the far end of everything that's
Right.
happening, and then when shit hits the fan, that's when they end up coming back to earth to
Exactly.
help out. But hey, there's so many ways they could play around with it. Most of the people there in Marvel are very intelligent. I think they can figure out something, but
Oh no,
if
yeah, I'm sure.
anything,
Listen, I'm
listen
sure
to us.
Feige has. Yeah, listen to us. Listen to some of the fans. I mean, listen, the MCU does, for the most part, listen to their fans.
Yep.
Listen, this is not doubting Kevin Feige. The man has built a multi-billion-dollar
Mm-hmm.
franchise with
Yep.
with the
Yep.
with the MCU. So,
True
I
that.
mean, granted, not every decision is appealing, but
Mm-hmm.
you got to give credit where credit is due.
Word
So
up.
yeah, I mean, like I said, introducing the Silver Surfer open cracks the cosmic side of the MCU wide open,
Mm.
because I mean, you can kind of say that with Guardians 3, the full introduction of Adam Warlock was a big cosmic entity in the comics, and obviously he'll be a huge contender in the MCU once he's fully introduced. But
Yeah.
I think someone like Silver Surfer, then that's when you really get like super super cosmic, because
Yeah.
most of almost everything that he does is cosmic based. So,
Yeah. Well, bigger story and
biggest
literal
story,
bigger, Galactus.
Galactus.
He has to be there. That there's no Silver Surfer without
Without
Galactus. So
Galactus. Yep.
even if you show him at the very end as a shadow, they need to show him. That's it. As
Right.
simple as that. So that
Mm-hmm.
when they do that, that's like opening the can of worms, and
And plus, you got the
there's no going back.
Fantastic Four coming. You got to have that
Yes.
big battle with the Fantastic Four and
Mm-hmm.
Galactus, and the Avengers and all that stuff. So listen, there's a lot of things going on here that's really exciting. Even though nothing's fully confirmed yet, this is just all rumors and reports at the time. So I want to make sure we emphasize that, so like that people know, because I know a lot of people like tend to for clicks and engagement. Oh no, they're really doing this, but no, let's just keep it
Well, we are
clear.
speculating.
No, we are
Definitely,
speculating, of
yeah.
course.
But I
That's the
would
fun
love
part
for
of
them to
this.
make us
That's the fun
like,
part.
hey, make us clickbait. Go for it, though, and let people hear us speculate all day. Please get those numbers up. Get those numbers up.
Please subscribe to us now, please. As you're watching, please. But yeah, more speculation. Oscar Isaac, in a recent interview, confirmed that he's been talking to Marvel about a possible Moon Knight season 2, or having Moon Knight appear in a team up of some sorts.
Werewolf.
Obviously, werewolf by night. That could be the Midnight Suns. I mean, obviously, people who know the comics, Moon Knight and Werewolf by Night have thrown hands with each other in the comics back in the day. So, there are ties there now that he's in the MCU in full. The possibility is definitely there. And with characters like Blade and Man-Thing now in the MCU as well, Marvel has really opened the door to the supernatural in the MCU and the horror side of things.
Their annual, they already just threw in the werewolf in. Come on. This is
they're
literally
not
this
playing.
week's comics. This is the week of 1027. Wait, 2026.
1026.
So
they're
listen, they're
you
talking.
all by
They're
day, but it's all good. No, listen, once they drop it in the comics, you already know it's already about to happen in the MCU.
Something, right? They're trying to capitalize on the MCU studios. That's how they do it.
Exactly. Kevin Feige ain't stupid. He's like, oh wait, we doing this? All right, make sure you drop at least one, even if it's 5 issues, just drop that. That's all you gotta do. Just drop it. But yeah, one of the biggest things that come out of Marvel this past weekend, we'll end that there before we jump into DC and all that stuff. The Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer has finally been released. We got an official poster. We got it's like a 2-minute trailer. It's not the same trailer that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con for the most part. And it's not the same trailer that was shown at D23 or whatever leaked after D23. But yeah, we got to see a lot. We got to see, essentially most of what they described from these 2 conventions. Scott Lang is a celebrity now. He's living his love life with, Hope Van Dyne, and obviously you got to see the Cassie Lang recast. You got Catherine Newton now playing Cassie Lang, another young Avenger. You see her suited up, as speculation was before we got the trailer at these conventions.
Stinger or something, right? I think they're most likely doing Stature is when she's huge.
Is it Stinger? Stinger when she's small, then Stature.
There's Stature when she's big, Stinger when she's small. So we'll find out. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure out how they do. But either way, I mean, they might just go the combination route as what they usually do. They're just gonna call it Stature.
True.
So like that they don't confuse people. Because when Ant-Man, they call him Giant Man once. That's just a reference to the comics. You know what I mean? Just because that's what they call him.
Yep.
But anytime he does get big, it's just Ant-Man is just
big.
He's just big now.
He's just a big boy.
Just make sure you got some orange slices afterwards so he can be cool. But yeah, I mean, this trailer, for me at least, this trailer was probably more of a teaser than an official trailer, as they passed it off as. But I think I'm good with what I saw. I don't need to see anything else. I got to see inside the quantum realm. I got to see Jonathan Majors as Kang in his comic book costume without the helmet, with the helmet. We got to see what they're gonna do, some of what they're gonna do in the quantum realm. Again, we got Ant-Man, Wasp, Stature, Stinger, whatever you want to call her, costumes. Shit is gonna hit the fan, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah,
that's all I need to know. I don't need to see anything else after this. I don't need to.
I completely agree with you. You know me, after this one, I'm done. I'm not watching anything else. I'm worried for you because they are going to give us more, and I don't know how you're going to do not looking at it.
This is what I do now. This is what I don't know if anyone else has noticed. I stopped posting trailers on Instagram. I'll share them on Twitter because it's much easier to just share the tweet on Twitter and just post it that way. To post on Instagram, I got to go through this whole ordeal. And, listen, it's worth it sometimes, but most of the time, listen, bro, that means I gotta watch the trailer in order to post it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So as you
Fair
guys can
enough.
notice, is not
Okay.
we stopped with the trailers on Instagram. For Black Adam, I saw one trailer,
Mhm.
and when I saw the movie, I was like, okay, cool,
Mhm.
that was cool. Then I went back and I watched the trailer. I'm like, nah, they spoiled the whole fucking movie, dog. They spoiled the whole movie in these trailers,
See,
and so I'm
and
like, yeah, I can't.
that's why I'm glad I did the same thing. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but yeah, you guys know I watched one trailer on Black Adam, and we'll find out how I felt tomorrow, or then part B's episode.
And part B, but
but
yeah,
but with
I
this
mean,
Ant-Man, yeah, totally agree, man. Like honestly, this looked great. I love that it gave us the funny tone in the beginning, and then it
right.
gave us some
And shit
serious
got dark.
notions,
Shit got
and I'm
dark.
like, this is awesome. Because I do remember they said because I did see the D23 one, like teaser. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
saying, the one line that I did want to see in the trailer was,
It
"Oh, did I
wasn't in
kill you
there.
before?"
Have I killed you
And
before?
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I was like, I like this. But again, I guess like what it is that right because like time travel in MCU is only done via quantum realm, correct? Is that
Right.
pretty much what it is?
I
Okay,
mean, that's
so
that's that's the consensus. At least that's the rules that they apply to time
yeah.
travel, based on
Everybody
anything.
goes through the
You
quantum
have to.
realm
Mm-hmm.
to time travel. I'm like, okay, like because that's all I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, so Kang is always and forever will be in the quantum realm, but then eventually makes the what's the spot the time bureau
Right. The
is it
TVA. The
TVA?
TVA.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, I'm just trying to like, even for myself, like see where it mixes in and all that kind of stuff and
Right.
how things go because it's like for him to have been there this whole time just feels like he could have showed up a lot sooner. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he could have if they wanted to. Yeah, he could have
If they
showed up a
wanted
lot
to,
sooner.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
honestly, they could if they wanted to. He could have shown up a whole lot sooner. They
Mm-hmm.
could have had some random actor just
Yep.
play the role, give him the blue mask. Like essentially, it's his helmet. Granted, his skin is blue in the comics. Obviously, they found a way to work around that. It's like a hollow mask,
Mm-hmm.
and then he actually has the face
Yeah.
markings as actual scars on
Mm-hmm.
his
Which is
face,
cool,
rather.
actually. I
Which
like
is
that.
I actually like that little
Yeah.
redesign.
Well,
It's
actually,
actually cool
no.
as fuck.
So funny enough, they just rebooted that in the comics. That it is a blue mask.
It is a blue mask
Yeah,
now.
it is a blue
Okay, all
mask.
right,
Yeah. So
now.
like in the recent comics, Kang the Conqueror,
Mm-hmm.
or Conqueror of Time or whatever, it's a 5 issue mini. He ends up like, the suit he gets just gives him a blue face. That's how it
Got
is.
it.
And then but
Got you.
he is still just a normal guy and everything like that. Like
All
well,
right,
future
that's
guy,
cool.
but still.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so I think because originally you're right. He used to have the full on blue on face. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was like, or it was like painted on him or some shit. I forget what
It
it
was
was. Like
something
they
along
explained
those
it.
lines. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but yeah, here they show him with a straight up mask. That's what that it's a helmet. That's the
Yeah.
reason why it's like that.
Listen, the MCU influences, man. I'm pretty sure they retconned that in the comics first before the movie dropped to be like,
Mhm.
you motherfuckers can't say it's not comic book accurate. Read your comics. Read your comics.
Word up.
Read your comics. But yeah, I mean, listen,
Oh.
Kang looks good. The
Mhm.
costume, honestly, the costume looks much better than I thought it was gonna look.
Oh
I thought it
yeah.
was gonna look a little goofy, to be completely honest. Because like,
Mhm.
listen, this dude got a whole green jumpsuit, like a fucking purple fucking shield on his shoulders and his neck and shit. I'm like, that might look a little goof in live action, but
Mhm.
it turned out looks really really good, to be honest.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
helmet, everything, the way they redesigned that, implemented that, I think it looks really good.
Mhm.
I like how they kind of teasing the connections to Miss Marvel's bangles,
Mhm.
the Shang-Chi's 10 rings and whatever
Mhm.
and all that. There's a lot of things going. The designs, I
Oh
don't know if you paid attention to the
yeah.
designs.
Okay.
The
Okay. You're
designs, they
right.
all resemble. There's
Yes.
gonna
So
be
you
some sort of connective tissue here.
fuck it's Shang-Chi's rings. They're like like signaling the quantum realm. Maybe that's
Imagine they
probably
were
what it is.
they did activate a beacon. We just
Yeah.
don't know where it was calling out
And
to.
they're like, they don't know where. So who knows? And they never,
Exactly.
if they called in maybe Scott Lang or Hank Pym, they could have been like, yo, I think that's quantum realm bullshit or whatever. But
Exactly.
oh wow, that's
And
interesting.
then
That's
the
gonna
the
be
bangles too,
interesting.
how that ties in into that
Mhm.
whole I forgot the name of
The
the
Jin
the
verse. The
yeah,
Jin.
the gin verse. We'll call it the gin verse. But yeah. Listen, I really enjoyed this trailer. I enjoyed the comedic side aspect of it because it's it's Paul Rudd as Scott Lang. We're gonna get some comedy in there. They're not gonna tonally shift. They're not gonna just abruptly change the tone of Ant-Man. But I'm glad we're gonna get both the comedic thing. We're gonna get the darkness that's gonna come with Kang's full introduction.
Yep.
In this movie,
side note,
what I felt here before you get into that. What I felt here in this trailer is what I should have felt for Thor: Love and Thunder. That's what I should have felt.
Yes,
that's what I should have felt.
Exactly, but we knew that wasn't going to happen. We knew that.
Well, we knew.
So the whole thing, I was going to say, like, I don't think they showed MODOK in this trailer,
they did not.
or this teaser, but we have obviously the artwork from it and all that kind of stuff, and
there's leaked images.
So I did learn that it is Yellow Jacket.
Right.
It's supposed to be him as MODOK, and I'm like, that's cool because he got shrinked the wrong way. This is why he's so out of proportion, and he went into there, and then they just fixed him up to make sure that he can move around, right?
Survive, yeah,
and then the one thing people were saying, they were like, oh, I don't like that is his mask is there and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I think it's just like an extra faceplate. I bet that's his battle mode. And then it's like in the beginning, it's just going to, and then it comes up, you know what I mean?
Or they do the same thing they did with Janet in the Quantum War, where she had to wear a helmet in order to survive in there as well, to kind of maneuver around.
Well, from what I'm assuming, the helmet is needed outside of where they made that city. Inside the city, it looks like everyone can just wear whatever the hell they want, whatever, like that, they can survive there. But outside of that bubble, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like having the helmet, you know what I mean? And a bigger bubble type of thing. The outside, yes. So exactly. So it's like, that's only there for, protection and also battle, probably. Because I'm like, I think it would be hilarious seeing his face stretched out into this little big ass head section. I think it would be hilarious. Because here's the thing too. It does, like, now, yes, the mask looks like Yellow Jacket's mask, right? In the helmet. But Scott's not going to believe it's really him. You know what I mean? I think it'll be funnier when he's be like, it's me. Look. He's like, oh shit, what happened? Like, he was like, your head's like, like, what? I think that's like perfect comedic moment. That's where I would say, like, I need to see that.
When they decide to finally reveal MODOK, which obviously they're going to do by the time the next trailer comes around, we'll definitely dive in a little more into that design, and
let's do it.
And obviously they're probably not going to reveal who it is in the trailer, but obviously we already know who it is. But listen, I'm just happy we're getting MODOK. Yeah, it's not the original MODOK, but listen, it's a version of MODOK. But then again, given that this is the multiverse saga, we could still get the original MODOK at some point. So
true that.
My hopes are not fully diminished. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my favorite of the summer, or favorite of the year.
I think it drops in February 17th. So we're just a few months away.
Oh my god!
We're less than 5 months away from that movie. So I'm super hyped for that.
Okay.
But yeah, we're done with Marvel. We're gonna get into DC because a lot, as you can see by the title of this podcast episode, a lot has happened with DC these past few weeks. These past 48 hours alone have been incredibly shell-shocking to the entirety of the internet and the nerd fandom with these announcements. So we're going to kick it off with the biggest announcement of everything and kind of trickle down with how everything that's been announced these past few days, ever since the release of Black Adam, how it ties into this massive announcement. So if you guys haven't heard by now, which I'm sure you have, Warner Brothers Discovery has officially created a DC studio. So this is a division within Warner Brothers Discovery that will focus on the DC live action films, the DC television shows, whether it be live action, and the DC animated stuff. So live films, TV, and animation. All live action, all animation will be handled in this studio called DC Studios. That studio will be co-ran by none other than James Gunn, director of the Suicide Squad, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Peter Safran. This is a producer who's, earned Warner Brothers billions of dollars with the Conjuring stuff and things like that. All the horror films that have been dropped out of WBD has been through Peter Safran, and this guy knows what he's doing in terms of business. And obviously, you got a creator like James Gunn who can write and direct his ass off. So this is a duo to keep an eye on, essentially. So they're both going to be co-chairmen, and co-CEOs of obviously the newly formed DC Studios for the next 4 years. So I guess that they're just going to test out the next 4 years, see how they do, and obviously any contract extensions will be after 2026, essentially. So like I said, James Gunn will oversee all the creative side of things, while Safran will oversee all of the business side of things. They will both be bouncing back and forth between producing and directing and writing. Obviously, most of that is for James Gunn, who will be writing and directing all of season 2 of Peacemaker. He also pitched a secret movie that he wants to work on, DC movie, and the studio was also eyeing him to kind of work on Man of Steel 2 to some degree. So Gunn will be super involved in DC. He will be DC exclusive as of November 1st, which is literally next Tuesday.
So I guess that's what we get, the last of Marvel James Gunn in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's
essentially
now he's
pretty
all
much
our DC boy. That's it. Wayne Enterprises. That's what it is. Wayne Industries.
Pretty much. Well, listen, now that you say Wayne Enterprises, he did go on to say that they are going to focus on the DC trilogy, which is Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. Those will be staple characters that they're going to, really focus on. They're going to focus on Harley Quinn and other, real characters that people may not even be aware of and things like that. So, James Gunn, as he did with the Suicide Squad, brought in some obscure Suicide Squad members, and people walked out of that movie loving those characters. So to see that kind of, listen, James Gunn resume speaks for itself. Listen, what is there to really compliment him and just give him his flowers while we're talking about the topic? But we can kind of skip this. That's what the kids use nowadays. Give him his flowers. But yeah, we got our first look at
what the hell just happened there.
What happened to the lights?
Oh no.
You lost power there?
Nah, I didn't.
This is blooper time.
That's what I thought happened. That's what I thought.
This is blooper times. But yeah, so we got our first look at DC Allegiance, DC's Legion of Superheroes. So that's a new animated film that was announced around New York Comic Con. So yeah, we got a first look image for that. They announced the voice cast, which includes Matt Bomer as the Flash, Meg Donnelly as Supergirl. We also got Harry Shum Jr. as Brainiac 5, Darren Criss as Superman, and of course the man Jensen Ackles as Batman.
Very nice.
So that is a super stacked cast, to be honest.
This is for Legion of the Superheroes.
This is for Legion of Superheroes. Yep.
Very nice.
The animated film that's dropping next year.
Beautiful. I think this is going to be awesome already. I'm already excited. I'm pumped.
I'm excited. Going to be the best thing anything DC animation, I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm sold.
That's what it is. And honestly, I wasn't against Jensen Ackles having Batman's voice when he did Long Halloween. So I was like, it grew on me. You know what I mean? Simple as that. I was like, this was nice.
And anything DC related. I see DC and I see Jensen Ackles. I'm like, all right, you got my money. Don't say anything else. DC, you got my money.
There it is. That's exactly what it is.
Harping back to Man of Steel 2, obviously, prior to James Gunn's big massive news alongside Peter Safran, we did get a report from the Hollywood Reporter that Man of Steel 2 was in early development, with Henry Cavill set to return. And mind you, this was announced literally like a day or two after the Thursday preview of Black Adam. So there was no surprise. They wanted to keep the cameo a surprise, but to no surprise, this cameo has been all over the place before the movie even released. So Henry Cavill, after Monday morning, took to social media after a few days after the official release of Black Adam to confirm his return as the Man of Steel, aka Superman. Obviously, we're using a hashtag Hope Restored because this is something people have been clamoring about for the past, I would say, like 8 years. When was it that Man of Steel came out? 2013?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, something
was
like
it
that.
2013, 2014, something like that. But yeah,
Close. I'm pretty sure it was one
I
of
mean,
those. One
honestly,
of
for the
those.
past 5 years, to be completely honest, if you really think about Justice League and how they butchered my boy, in the Justice League when they dropped in 2017, and then we got him in 2021 in the
Yep.
Snyder cut. You know, people have been clamoring for Superman for nearly a decade at this point. So you know, there are some unconfirmed reports as of right now that he is finalizing these contracts to not just appear in Man of Steel 2, but to also appear in 2 additional projects outside of Man of Steel 2. So that's being finalized, talked about. Nothing is official yet, but the only thing that is official is that there's early development on Man of Steel 2, and that Henry Cavill has officially confirmed his return as Superman. So that's great.
I think as simple as this. After Man of Steel 2, all we need like he needs to be like just like how we like Batman in everything, but just at a very small capacity.
Of
That's
course,
because
it
that's the
has
one
to
thing
be.
that's where it comes down to is that these characters are so influential. They're always in
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Like they're always
Right.
somewhere. They're sprinkled and this and that. You know what I mean? So it's like it's definitely going to eventually is going to end up having that episode of Superman versus Black Adam, but with Shazam helping out for a little bit because now they're
Mm-hmm.
realizing that they're on like they're against odds or whatever like that, blah blah blah. So I'm like, it's going to be a fun way of doing it, and that we kind of see where it goes because now
Right.
in the DCU it will be 3 powerhouses, literal like Superman. Because Shazam, honestly, if he wasn't a kid, they would take him more seriously. He still just doesn't understand
Listen,
what the fuck his powers are.
I will tell
You
you
know?
this. They did confirm that he's a little more, mature in
Mm-hmm.
Shazam 2,
Okay,
which
good. That's
obviously,
fun.
which is
Yep.
good. You know, it's been
Yeah,
a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
years that
Mm-hmm.
he's been Shazam, so he's matured a little bit, learned how to hone his powers and all that. By the end of the film, I feel he will have a 100% grasp on his power set, and then yeah, you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
put him toe to toe with Superman if he wants to have a friendly little battle with Superman if he wants to just to shoot the shits, or
Mm-hmm.
if Black Adam decides to be like, listen, I'm taking away your magic, I want it,
Yeah.
and you got to defend yourself. That
He'll
is
be able to pull. He's able to
exactly.
not pull his punches. See that's exciting because it's funny. I was like when we went to see the Black Adam, I saw the trailer again for
Mm-hmm.
Gods of Fury, and I'm like, this is what I'm really excited for right now. I was
Right,
like, this is what I've
right,
been waiting for. I was like, I'm really excited to see this one. So
right,
hey,
exactly.
I think there's so much potential. I'm loving that Cavill's back. It's a great time.
Listen, I'm hyped,
Just let it
man, because
happen.
I love Man of Steel, and I know
Mm-hmm.
I've been silent about it. I know that I've been one of those fans have been clamoring for Henry Cavill to come back, but silently. I'm not taking to social media. I'm not on our podcast or our platforms like
Yeah.
we need him back. No, no,
Yeah.
no. If it happens, it happens. Obviously, it happened.
Exactly.
I'm happy for it. If it didn't happen, tough
Yeah.
shit. I'll go
Mhm.
cry about it while I go take a shower. As simple as that. You know what I mean? But
Or
it is what it
all
is.
good.
But moving on to the Flash, which is one of the characters who was not mentioned in James Gunn's statement yesterday
Okay.
regarding his big move as co-chairman and co-CEO of DC Studios. Ezra Miller, obviously, he's been the talk of the town. Well, they've been the talk of the town this past couple of weeks because they're facing up to 26 years in prison and a $2,000 fine for their burglary charges in Vermont.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're not going to get into the whole
I love
ordeal with
Vermont, by
that.
the way. I love Vermont. Vermont's very
Is it
nice.
is it nice? Is it nice?
It's
I always
gorgeous.
wanted to visit. I
It's
always
so
wanted to
very
visit.
it is beautiful.
I got
Like
to visit.
honestly it's all about snowboarding and beer. But it's like also their food is great.
Ah,
Snow
now we see why.
but
Now we see why Ezra Miller was
there's
there.
plenty
Snowboarding and beer.
snowboarding and there's great food. But yes, so Ezra Miller definitely wanted to go snowboarding. But yes, Vermont is gorgeous. I loved it last time I
I'll
was
add
there.
that to my bucket list of destinations. I'm pretty sure the Amtrak passes by there.
Yeah. No, not at all. I
But
don't
yeah,
even know how
so
we get to there, but okay.
but yeah, back to the Flash. WB is exploring their options to recast Ezra Miller as the Flash, and they do have a couple of top contenders.
Well, if he
But
gets to go to jail for 26 years, yeah, we need a new Flash. Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, pretty much, basically, what insiders are saying is that even if Miller doesn't get thrown in prison, If maybe they walk away with a slap on the wrist, as what most celebrities do, due to the bad publicity that they brought to the studio. Is like that's enough reason to just recast them.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
mean?
there was plenty to go that, that they gave him a chance, I guess, or they were just kind of like, hey, just say you're sorry, we'll let you do more. And I'm like, that's already more than enough that he should
That's
have
more than
gotten.
enough.
And that shows star power, whatever, right? But so
Right.
for this, now Vermont's like, this is real bad. Like, you can't just do shit like that.
Right.
Here it is. So hey, if it happens, I know he's dealing with a lot of shit, but I liked seeing what he was doing with the Flash. I wanted to see him get a little more serious,
Right.
and obviously I want to see what the hell happened with this movie. Like, I hope it doesn't get scrapped.
Yeah,
And
they're gonna release it. They're already cemented that they're gonna release the Flash movie. And, with Ezra Miller, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna limit their press run and the press junkets that they're gonna participate in. And but yeah, I mean, going back to the whole recast thing, they're looking at George McKay as their top choice as their new Barry Allen, aka the Flash. For those who haven't seen George McKay, he's in 1917. Have you ever seen 1917? You seen the trailer for the war movie?
I'll just look him up right now.
Check it out. Check it out. That movie looks and is incredible.
George McKay.
Yeah, Mackay. So not a MCKAY, MACKAY. It's like that you can, or just put 1917 George McKay.
He's a March baby. Good for him. I like it.
But yeah, a lot of people are rallying behind this recast because like, oh, listen, McKay really looks more like the Flash than Miller does.
Fair enough. Yeah,
fair enough.
But
which is fair.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, it just things have worked out the way they're working out, and that's the card that Miller handed WB. That's what they have to deal with at this point. But there are confirmed reports that the Flash sequel script has already been finished. So that's whether it's with Miller or whether it's with George McKay or any other actor out there, we're definitely going to get a Flash 2. And obviously the script hasn't, I mean, whether or not we get the Flash 2 all depends on box office performance, but if WBD really wants to move forward with the Flash to any capacity or build off a trilogy, whether they recast or not, a sequel obviously has already been greenlit to some degree. Now that the script has been finished.
Got it.
So
so that right. So it's either that they still keep Ezra Miller or goes to the new guy, because like all of a sudden he fucked up the timeline so much that even his face got messed up. So or the multiverse mixed him in and made George McKay.
Or if you bring back Miller, he's actually Eo Barthon instead of Barry Allen.
That would be, honestly, I think that would be so hilarious. But also that means he's only back in smaller capacity, and it still is like, hey, he's the evil man now. He went bad.
That's been the running joke on social media, especially our comment section. That post has blown up with like over 3,000 comments, right?
That's hilarious. Great. I love it.
And a lot of people have been calling him the real life Reverse Flash, which is fucking hilarious.
It sucks. And again, hey, you know what I mean? I think he had a lot of talent. I liked him in a lot of the stuff that he did, but dude, it's still real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't just get away with
shit. Fame and money, that doesn't give you a hall pass. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That does not give you a hall pass for grooming, allegedly, holding people hostages, allegedly, you know what I mean? Like all the other allegations outside of what Vermont is trying to charge you for. Yeah, that shit can't fly just because you're rich and famous, dog. You know what I mean?
Word.
Or just like he was saying, I'm the Flash, I'm Jesus, I'm the Messiah. Saying, no, bro, you gotta stop.
Yeah,
but yeah, moving off from that, there's not much else we can really harp on in terms when it comes to the Flash, because that's is trapped in the Speed Force right now. We don't know what the outcome is for that. So, but yeah, moving on to Matt Reeves, who is expanding his Batman universe and developing additional villain spin-off series or movies. They're not just all going to be series for HBO Max. Some of them will be feature films that we'll see in theaters. Some of the characters they're kind of torn around with ideally at the moment are Scarecrow, Clayface, and Professor Pig, which is someone I've been dying to see in live action.
Pig,
even though I'm pretty sure they brought him in Gotham, right? We got Professor Pig in Gotham, didn't we?
Yes, Professor Pig made it into Gotham, correct.
Along with Dr. Hugo Strange as well. So, I mean, listen, I would like to see a Professor Pig, whether it be a series or be a cameo or an appearance in a series of some sort. Or as one of the big bats in some sort of Batman movie. But
like Scarecrow, Professor Pig, they mesh so well in Matt Reeves' universe. It's not even funny. Sure. They will thrive in there, even at a PG-13 rating, you know what I mean? Because it's like they can still the bludgeoning and all that kind of stuff. It will get a little freaky when he shows his doll making and all that kind of stuff, but Professor Pig would be insane.
He's such a good villain, bro.
He's crazy.
He would be great. He will be great.
What was it? It was there's a Professor Pig issue for Batman that Tom King did, and Mitch and Jared's wrote, illustrated. By far one of the best things ever.
Professor Pig. Once I heard that news, they were like, they're considering not just Clayface but Professor Pig too. Y'all want my money. Y'all want my money.
See, here's the thing with Clayface. You bring that into the fold, that means that world is bigger than we thought. That means superpowers are around. You know what I mean? That means anyone from, oh my God, anyone from Poison Ivy to, us seeing freaking Superman down the line in his world, it's possible because it's like, okay, there's a guy with superpowers. You know what I mean? Clayface is a mutation and he will need CGI.
You bring somebody like Clayface, you can bring in people like Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze.
Yep. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Who else? If you really want to go crazy, you bring in Condiment King.
Dude, that's
and it can work. It will work
because it will be the one dude that he shows up and he's like, he goes to like Batburger or some shit and he just sees this guy. He's like, I don't even know why I'm here, type of thing. He's like, why? And it's just like, you're insane, I guess, or you're stupid. And then he knocks it out. Condiment King is literally just a one-off character for the first act of the movie, and it'll be perfect. That's all we need. That I don't need anymore.
That's all I need. That's all I need. So if you want to bring in Calendar Man, there's so many Batman villains that you can bring in.
Beautiful, dude. Kite Man. Give us Kite Man.
Firefly.
Oh
if you want. Listen, you already took him out of Batgirl. Might as well put him in there. I mean, and bring back Brendan Fraser. Don't cast somebody else. Bring back Brendan Fraser as our Firefly.
They shall riot, apparently. And then I'll tell you that much.
But yeah, so moving on from that, the Zatanna HBO Max movie series, whatever they were going to call it by the time this movie show released, has been canceled at HBO Max. There's not moving forward, with the title. But J.J. Abrams will be shopping it around to other streamers. Whenever I hear the term they're going to shop it around, 9 out of 10 times, that's done. That's already in the can. That's done. Kiss it, bye-bye, au revoir. That's it. We're done. There's not much to really look forward to.
It's either they say it's going here and that's it, or
that's it. Or it's being shopped around. It's just not going to happen, which is unfortunate because, characters like Zatanna,
oh no. Oh no. Did I lose you? Oh damn.
How we went about it. Did you lose me?
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, you froze on me at when the characters Zatanna. Oh, it's on my end. Oh my god, I see my thing.
No, it was on your end. Yeah, I continued talking. But
okay. We're good. We're good now. We're good.
Yeah, anyway, I said,
I didn't hear what you said.
You will see it in post now. Everybody else
Fair
got
enough.
the exclusive.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
No, but
enough,
yeah, like
guys.
I said, just to summarize what I was saying, I was really looking forward to what J.J. Abrams wanted to do with the Justice League Dark. So
Oh
it
yeah.
kind of hurts when they cancel
Word.
things like Constantine, Zatanna. You know what I mean? It's like, bro, we really could have had something special exclusively on HBO Max with another Justice League team. It doesn't necessarily have to be the main Justice League. It doesn't have to be Justice League of America. The Justice League Dark and then the supernatural, the magic side of the DC universe would have been nice to kind of see in live action. But
Yeah.
and mind you, you had an Oscar winner writing this show. You know what I mean? Like, it's like how do you just like, nah, fuck this? I mean,
very easily they have that much money or they don't want to spend the money, and
well,
that's the
that's
problem.
the thing. They don't want to spend the money, which is why they canceled. Batgirl. They canned that. They canceled Constantine. They canceled Zatanna. I'm going to jump in ahead a little bit to the Green Lantern news that dropped today, which is, obviously that was a Green Lantern Corps HBO Max series that was going to consist of 8 episodes that was going to focus on Alan Scott and Guy Gardner along with Hal Jordan and stuff like that. So that's all being redeveloped from scratch. So now the show will focus on John Stewart alone. So the series creator, he left, the showrunner left because of that news, and now the budget has decreased immensely based on the reports. It had a much bigger budget before because obviously you're gonna have the entirety of the Green Lantern Corps. That's a lot of CGI that you got to implement into a show. So listen, you trim that down to just one Green Lantern, then yeah, you're gonna have a much more significantly less budget to kind of invest into. So it's like the news is exciting because it is John Stewart. John Stewart doesn't get as much love as all of the other Green Lantern, and he's a great Green Lantern.
Yes.
But I feel like that's like, here, let's just go with the black dude. It's like it just doesn't come off right. You know what I mean?
It seems a little like it seems off. It definitely seems off,
it's
like
like
out of
here,
nowhere. But it's kind of like,
just
hey, here's
don't
a
roll
gimme.
it.
You know what I mean? You could do this,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's upsetting. It's upsetting to see that.
It's like that's not
that kind of stuff.
That's not how I don't want John Stewart to just be like, yeah, here's a last resort. Here, we'll just do John Stewart instead. I mean, no, it's like, yeah, if you're gonna do John Stewart, be excited about doing fucking John Stewart. You announce a John Stewart solo film, or you announce a John Stewart series off rip. We're gonna bring in these creators. We're gonna write 8 episodes for it, see how the first season does, and then we'll go from there. If it does good within the first 3 episodes, we'll give it a whole full series order. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But don't just, we're gonna rework the show and have all these Green Lanterns, because you honestly could have just included John Stewart in the original show if you really wanted to. But you're just trimming the fat. Well, we'll just stick to John Stewart. It just doesn't come off as authentic. It's not like you didn't want John Stewart wasn't your first choice.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where it's a little bit bothersome.
Yeah. Where I would see them being able to pull this off and make it even still work the best way of the Green Lantern Corps, they can take the same, they could take a note from the DC animated series, right? With the Green Lanterns, what they did, they started off with first they started off with John Stewart, right? I'm not saying, first off, I'm not saying to start with John Stewart. That's too easy, way too easy, right? But if it's supposed to be the Corps, start with John Stewart. Give us that 6 to 8 episodes and everything. Give us a complete story for John Stewart. Then see how that resonates, right? Now we bring in a different Green Lantern and we play Emerald Knights. You know how they were showing all, like in Emerald Knights, they were showing different stories of different Green Lanterns that were like influential or just big dogs in the Green Lantern Corps, and they can bring them all up. Then we can start building pieces, show these new Green Lanterns that they're showcasing, with those few episodes here and there that they're stopping up on Oa real quick. So that's just that one expensive ass, episode. And then the rest of the episodes are a little bit more dumbed down because now we're only talking about one Green Lantern and not the whole.
Exactly.
Corps. And then we build it that way. So give us our 5, our 4 human Green Lanterns, you know what I mean? Combine 2 of them, because a lot of people always give a lot of shit to Guy Gardner and Kyle Rayner, you know what I mean? And mind you, Kyle Rayner is my favorite Green Lantern. I'm just throwing it out there. But besides that, it's like, there's so many different ways that they could play around with this, but yes, I totally agree. feel like it's kind of like disrespectful to who Jon Stewart is as a character and as like, a fan favorite for a lot of people. But what it comes down to right now, I'm like, if we're getting it, cool. Let's just make it good, and let's see if we can expand on it while also introducing other Green Lanterns.
Honestly, if they play their cards right, depending on who they hire, and obviously, they have it's confirmed to have one season. At least that's confirmed. Now is on a script to series order, but it has to do good or get green lit to a series order in order to do multiple seasons. So for now, it's just green lit for the green. You got to green light the Green Lantern.
Sorry, I had to. I just had to.
I get it. But listen, like I said, I mean, it is a bittersweet bit of news. Like, it's exciting. Jon Stewart is the focus of this Green Lantern show. But if that was going to be your cop out, you should have just rolled with Green Lantern.
Damn, that was the word I was looking for. I was like, cop out. Oh my god,
why? I was this like, was your cop out. You should have just rolled. You should have just rolled with Jon Stewart from the get go, because this show has been in development for like 3 years. You go radio silent for over 3 years, almost 4, and then you're like, you know what? We're gonna rework it. We give you Jon Stewart. It's like, bro. It's like, no, respect the character. Like, this is a renowned Green Lantern. This is not just some regular, Green Lantern who just created just for the show. You know what I'm saying? It's not Sojourn Green Lantern who just only been around for a year or two, and people have to grow in love. This is a character who's been out since like the late 90s, early 2000s. And people have grown up with this character. But yeah, that's all I got for at least for Green Lantern, at least, because I can go on much bigger tangents. But honestly, now that we're even talking about it, that puts into question what they were going to do with John Diggle as the Green Lantern too.
That sucks. Like, I wanted to see him come in as I was like, he deserved it. I think he really earned the shit out of that one.
Exactly. So, yeah, he did.
I hope one day they let him suit up, randomly on the CW, if the CW is even a thing anymore.
Who knows, man? Like season four of Stargirl is not even confirmed. That shit's still in limbo. And I'm just like, this show is so good, and you guys are just like sleeping on it. And I'm just like, at this point, we're like almost done with season 3. I'm like, I don't think we're gonna get a season 4, but
it sucks, and that would suck so bad because I'm really enjoying Stargirl. It's so good.
It's so
I
good.
love it.
But yeah,
so
we'll go back to Joker Batman real quick before we close this out. So obviously, Joker 2 has just cast Harry Lawty in the film, and apparently he's gonna have a big role. The role has been undisclosed. They haven't mentioned who he's playing or what are the details around his character, but he will be having a big role in this film. So we'll just have to wait and see what that role is, who he's playing, and what kind of influence and power that character will have throughout the events of this movie. Now, in addition, circling back, tying it all into the James Gunn and Peter Safran news, obviously you have DC Studios, you have Todd Phillips, who has his own universe with the Joker movies. You also have Matt Reeves with his own universe and his Batman movies and his Batman spinoffs. So Joker is not set underneath the James Gunn, Peter Safran umbrella of the DC film universe. That's his own entity, and that will be overseen by other executives at WBD, the Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, when it comes to Matt Reeves' Batman universe, that's where things get a little muddy because he hasn't really been assigned a specific umbrella. Is he staying in his own universe? Will it be seen by other executives in the company? Will this fall under James Gunn and Peter Safran? They haven't really specified. So that's a little unclear at the moment.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure they're kind of working out the kinks to kind of see what they cannot do, or what they're willing to do and what they're not willing to do in terms of a creative and a cohesive story, especially with what Matt Reeves is kind of building in that Batman universe. Because he's locked in and dead set on like, this is my Batman noir aesthetic universe. I want to build it and flesh it out as much as possible. Yep. If it's going to kind of conflict with what Gunn and Safran are going to do, then it probably is not best to kind of have them supervise that side of the DC EU essentially. But yeah, a little tidbit on Batman 2. New report from today: the earliest Batman 2 will release in theaters will be 2025. So we're still a few years out. I can take your time, Please take your time. Y'all working on a lot right now. Take your time. I'm in no rush to see the sequel. I can just go back and watch the first one. It was that good.
True. Yeah. I'm fine watching it again. Honestly, I really don't mind at all.
Exactly. But we do got some casting news for Doom Patrol season 4. Elijah Reed has been cast as the series as a recurring guest in season 4 of Doom Patrol, and he will be playing a former close friend of Cyborg. So we'll see how that's going to be, how that dynamic is going to go, how they'll clash and things like that, which would be very interesting.
Honestly, again, Doom Patrol is one of those other shows that I'm like, can do no wrong. It's amazing. And I'm like, if they're going to add somebody, they're doing it for a reason. So
exactly,
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
Exactly. And honestly, now that you mentioned that they're adding somebody for a reason, every single edition, every season they bring in somebody has been super, super great on the show. It's not like they bring in somebody just to take up a spot. Like they have a purpose there. They serve a purpose to the story. They help push the narrative forward. So, which is what you want in character, and whenever they bring in additional characters to a show. So, like seeing Elijah Reed as a recurring guest in the show, having that former friendship with Vic Stone, Cyborg, there's gonna be some issues they got to work out. How is he gonna help push Cyborg's narrative forward?
Yeah.
Throughout the season, because, and what he has to overcome. You know what I mean?
Because we definitely saw, well, I want to say he just gave up his powers, or he's giving it up soon. So it's like either he's not Cyborg anymore, or he's just dumbed down, like he's alive, but he's still machine. He just looks
right, which honestly
normal.
would explain why he doesn't really look like Cyborg in the trailer, and then in that poster they released after New York Comic Con.
Yeah, so because I saw that same poster and I'm like, he did the surgery. He did what he was trying to do before he got called out and everything like that to help out everybody. So it looks like he ended up taking the surgery, and I'm like, no. It's like, why? No.
The thumbnail was shit.
No, please don't do that. So,
honestly, God. Too funny. But yeah, the last bit of news before we get out of here. This came out of left field, bro.
Honestly, why did you even put this as the last one? I don't want to leave on this note. I'm sorry. Damn, I feel bad. I was like, I don't go for it. You say
Again, CW, man.
I don't know what they're doing.
How do I put? I didn't. This is my reaction. This is the live reaction at me reading that piece of news and then and having to create a post about it.
Yes.
What?
Why? And how? Like, this is.
Those are two very important questions. But anyway, for those who are watching, they're just like, yo, can you just spit it out already? Also, Javicia Leslie, obviously you guys know her as Ryan Wilder, aka Batwoman, has been cast in the Flash season 9.
Good for her with that,
which is great. Not as Batwoman though.
Yeah,
not as Batwoman though. As the Red Death.
And for anyone that doesn't know that from the comic books, Red Death is an evil version of Batman who took the Flash's powers to try to change his world. So he becomes literally a super speedster Batman. And to have her become Red Death.
Why? That's the question. Why?
And again, Red Death is supposed to be a very big bad guy. So why are they using this as their final season bad guy?
And I don't know if you recall, but I know I mentioned this in the pod a few years ago. I'm like, yo, there's been talks that they're trying to bring in Red Death. I know they were trying to bring in Godspeed. We got Godspeed.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're trying to bring in Red Death at some point.
And we talked about it. As long as they did it well, I had no issues with it. But this
just doesn't make sense. It's like, how do we get to a point where Ryan Wilder becomes evil, absorbs the Flash power and whatever multiverse Earth this is, becomes the evil speedster, and just decide,
and
what I mean? It's just,
decides to be Red Death when she's supposed to be a good guy. Like, you know what I mean?
you know
Like,
what I mean? Like,
and
I
mind
don't
you,
know.
here's the funnier part. I was actually excited for season 9 because I was like, you know what? I think this
It's the
is it.
final
This is going to
season.
be this is final season. This was going to be the one that
We
they
gave them.
bring it back. You know what I mean?
We overestimated them.
I think we did. I
We
think we did.
overestimated them.
I,
We did. We overestimated their skill set, their creative choices.
yeah, I'm
Everything.
flabbergasted right now, and this is the moment that I would try to, if I was a tweeter, right? This is the moment that I would hit up Greg Gustin and be like, dude, obviously I'm still a fan. I'm giving you guys, I gave you guys so much. You know what I mean? I've been riding with you guys for 9 seasons.
9 whole seasons.
But why did you say yes to Red Death? Like, I was like, I'm like, you're a fan too. Why would you even think that's a good idea? I was like, yes, I get it. It's like,
bro.
shit, I'm surprised they didn't just fucking make freaking Iris West Red Death, like, because that's where they usually go. Like, they might as well just made her Red Death. Like,
we know she's saving the day, bro.
Oh my God.
She's saving day.
I just don't get it.
This ain't the Flash season 9. This is Iris West season 9. That's who it is.
I am speechless about it.
Remember, we are the Flash. It's not the Flash. The Flash.
The saddest part is we're going to be watching this, and I don't know how I'm going to stomach it. I don't know how I'm going to stomach it, dude. I barely made it through season 8.
I'm gonna let everybody know now. Get ready for a lot of tangents and shit talking in the in the next few months, because it drops like bad. In a few months. Just get ready. Just get ready.
Yeah,
we're gonna be hurt. We're gonna be very vocal about
it, dude. And I think I told you, I'm like, half the time when I was watching The Flash, I was reading my comic books. Like, not even just during commercials. Bro, I was reading it through the whole season, the whole episode, because I'm just like, I was like, it's one of these episodes again. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's just, I'm like,
oh, again, God. We're doing that again.
I'm like, yeah, God, it's again? It's like they give us like 5 to 6 great episodes, and then all of a sudden they just.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, The Flash would have benefited from the 13 to 16 episode. And granted, they started doing it, but a little too late. A little too late.
Yeah,
a little too late.
It just is what it is.
It is what it. Listen, it was fun while it lasted. We rode the Flash until the wheels fell off. I don't want anyone ever question us about loyalty. All right, that's all I'm saying. We're like battered victims and shit. We keep coming back.
Oh God, hilarious.
But yeah, that's unfortunately that's how we're gonna end up. So now that we talked about it,
good job.
Now that we really talked about it, I'm just like, yeah.
I told you, I'm like, why that at the end? Why that at the end?
But why? We could have just ended on a high note with Doom Patrol. We honestly we could have just ended on a high note with Doom Patrol, to be honest.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this half of the episode. We'll be back in a few days, essentially. By the time you guys watch it, at least in a few days.
Yes.
We'll be back with our Black Adam review, our review of She-Hulk season 1.
Yep.
Our review of Andor, the recent episodes. I might throw
in She-Hulk. No,
yeah, She-Hulk. Yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, we're just going to get a quick little She-Hulk finale thing.
We'll just talk about the finale. Listen, I have a lot to say about it. I've stayed quiet, but I've had a lot to say about it. But yeah, Andor, She-Hulk, Black Adam, Werewolf by Night. We're going to actually be reviewing, and I might throw in a little mini review of The Peripheral. I've been watching that on Prime Video. It's super, super good.
That's this Amazon Prime one, right?
Right. That dropped it like last week.
With this girl,
Chloe Grace.
Okay, got it. All right. I know what you're talking about. I heard about it. Yeah. A series or is it a movie?
No, it's a series.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Right. It's great. All right, all I'm saying is great. Yeah. Listen, science fiction thriller, bro. You already know.
Okay.
You already know. It's great.
You. All right.
But yeah, you guys know where to follow us. If you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Turn on notifications so you guys don't miss any interviews, any podcast episodes, any reviews, any clips. We've been dropping content like a mug. Please support us. Let's get to 400 subscribers, please. We're stuck at 318. That would be nice. So we can kind of, get out there a little bit extra.
Please.
But yeah, we'll be back. We'll
All
see you
right.
guys in like 2-3 days. I don't know.
There it is.
Stay nerdy, my friends.